answer this.
Let me throw something out there. In your Ivy League campus, what's the most important 911 center in your community? It's not the one run by the city. It's the one sitting right on your campus. That's because it's not a pass-through. It's actually the first point of decision. Yeah, that changes everything. And that's what's coming up next on TiPS Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a NENA certified ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I bring you the latest, most informative, and sometimes a bit controversial takes on emergency communications. Today we're continuing with our Ivy League campus series, number 5. In the past, we talked about fragmentation, the NG911 DMARC, the architecture layer, and the explosion of IoT. So today we're going to talk about the operator in the middle of all of it, the Campus ECC. And here's the uncomfortable truth about it. Most Campus ECCs are acting like relay stations when they should be acting like decision engines. The pass-through problem. Look, let's call it like what it is. A lot of Campus ECCs today operate like this. Call comes in, basic info's collected, local officers respond, and then maybe they get transferred to the municipal PSAP for things like EMS. Done. And that's not wrong, but it's also not leveraging what the campus actually knows. Because while the municipal PSAP sees a caller, or a rough location, and a problem description, the Campus ECC's got access to building layouts, camera systems, access control, information about known individuals, and most importantly, real-time context. And yet they don't use it. The information advantage. Look, nobody knows the campus better than the campus police. Not the city, not the county, not even the municipal PSAPs. The Campus ECC's got institutional knowledge, system access, environmental awareness. So why don't we take an incident, strip it down to a voice call, and then hand it off for a medical emergency? That's like having full video and choosing to send a text message. The first mile concept. Look, let's try to introduce a shift in thinking. We talk a lot about the last mile in telecom, but in an NG911 network, it's really about the first mile. That Campus ECC needs to be the first point of triage, the first point of validation, and the first point of enrichment before anything ever hits the EZNet. So instead of caller, PSAP, questions, and dispatch, we move to caller, Campus ECC, validated incident, PSAP, and action. That's faster, that's smarter, that's safer. The real-time use case. This is the money. Let's walk it out a little bit. An active incident in a campus building takes place. In the old model, the caller reports something happening. The location is really unclear. PSAP is asking a lot of questions, and time is lost. In the new model, the Campus ECC receives camera triggers, access control anomalies, and any alerts that get correlated with the incident. The operator's got the exact building, the exact floor, the exact entry point to use, and live video. So when that event hits NG911, it includes things like a verified location, all of that supporting data, and most importantly, context. That's no longer a call, that's now an incident package. Reducing PSAP load without losing control. Look, this is important. We're not replacing the PSAP. We're supporting it. We're filtering the noise. We're validating the data. We're providing context about the incident. This reduces call handling time, significantly reduces the interrogation cycles, and eliminates dispatch delays. And here's the key. The PSAP stays in control, but now they're reinformed from the start. The operational shift. All of this requires a mindset change. The Campus ECC operators are no longer just call takers. They get elevated to incident analysts, data validators, and decision support operators. That's a very different role. That's very different training. It brings up different expectations and ends up being different impact. Reality check. So if your Campus ECC is only forwarding calls, you're leaving your biggest advantage on the table because you already have the data. You already have the systems. You're just not using them when it matters most. The bottom line. The future of 911 doesn't start at the PSAP. It starts at the source. And in this case, that source is your campus. If the Campus ECC remains a pass-through, you stay reactive. When you start ingesting intelligent data as the first PSAP, you can change the outcome before that call is even complete. And that brings value in next generation 911 public safety in the higher ed campus. That wraps up today's episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. Thanks so much for listening. For more updates and insights, remember to follow me on social media at Fletch911. And you can visit 911tips.com for a complete archive of my previous episodes. Be sure to check my blogs available at Fletch.tv, and my professional website is at Fletch911.com. Stay safe. Thanks so much for listening. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. We'll see you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.